guys, Preacher 357 here, bringing to you a Model 19. And no, I'm not talking about a Glock, I'm talking about a Smith and Wesson. Whereas the Glock Model 19 is a 9mm polymer frame striker fired gun, semi-automatic, the Model 19 Smith and Wesson is a .357 revolver. And here she is, a beautiful gun. This was one of the most popular guns of all time. Back in its day, the Model 19 was kind of the standard bearer of police firearms, civilian ownership. The .357 Magnum in this K-frame mid-size was extremely popular because it was small enough for carry. Though, you're not going to really do a lot of concealed carry probably with it, though some people do. But it was small enough for carry compared to the much larger .357s that had come before. This model was developed and released originally in 1955 by Smith and Wesson, the famous exhibitionist, and when I say exhibitionist, I mean shooting exhibition, not the other kind of exhibitionist. The shooting exhibitionist and Border Patrolman Bill Jordan had suggested to Smith and Wesson to make their .357 Magnum in this size gun, which this is a K-frame, which is the same size as the Model 10, which was one of the most popular firearms for police to carry. It was also popular and used in World War II. And so this is the same size gun as the Model 10, but obviously he wanted it chambered in the more powerful .357 Magnum round. Now, Bill Jordan was known for being something of a gunfighter. He got in a lot of gunfights as a border patrolman. And he wrote a book about it, No Second Place Winner, and talking about, self-defense, gunfights, the mentality and all of that goes behind, surviving those kinds of things. But he suggested to Smith & Wesson, and so they came out with this in 1955. The .357 Magnum was developed first in 1935. And when they developed the .357 Magnum, it was chambered in a very large revolver, the in-frame revolver, which was their .44 frame. And that was their big one. It's the same gun now, the same size frame now that you see the .44 Magnums chambered in now. And that was necessary at the time because the .357 Magnum was such a high-pressure round. But as metallurgy, got better, by the 50s, Smith & Wesson figured out with heat treating and all these other things how to manufacture a revolver in this size and still be able to chamber that powerful cartridge. Now, there were some issues that the K-frame .357s ran into with the forcing cones cracking. And so a lot of people will say these guns like this are .357 Magnum revolvers that you carry .357 Magnum in and you only practice with .38 specials for the most part. And maybe there is some truth to that. I've never cracked one of them. I've shot a lot of Magnums in them, but not a lot of the really, really hot Magnums. And most of mine are the 158 grain wad cutters, and my understanding is the problems they really were having with them was with some of the higher velocity rounds, some of the 125 grain loadings were really what were causing more of the problem than the heavier weight projectiles. But that's just what I've heard. Like I said, I've never actually seen one cracked myself, but it's well documented that did happen, which is why Smith eventually came out with the L frame, the 686, the 586, to solve that problem with a little bit beefier revolver. But the Model 19 is still just a sweet gun, just a wonderful gun to shoot. And this is the 6-inch model here. I had wanted one of these for a long time, and I ran across a guy who said he had one he'd sell me. He had a 4-inch blued model, and I said, sure, just bring it, and I'll look at it next day. Well, the next day he came in with a 6-inch, said, I just decided I can't get rid of the 4-inch. Well, he kind of had me then. I didn't really want a 6 at the time, but I really wanted a Model 19, and I got to looking at it, and finally I decided, yeah, I'll take it. But, we negotiated the price down a little bit, but I came home with this one here, and I've been fairly pleased with it. I'm glad I got the 6-inch in it now, because I had 4-inch Smith and Wessons in K-frame size already, so it was nice to have the longer barrel, and it shoots really well. Well, I say that, I may not hit anything with it today. Haven't shot it in a long time. I have not had it out in a long time, and that's a shame on me that I haven't. But thought we'd get it out today, just do a little bit of shooting with it, and just see if we can hit anything with it, just enjoy it a little bit. This is an adjustable sight model. It's got a rear sight that is adjustable for elevation and for windage, so that makes it different than the Model 10. If you're going to compare it to a 38 Special, it's more like the Model 15, though there's a little bit of a difference between the Model 15 and the Model 19. The stainless version of this is known as the Model 66. I think you've seen the 66 I have on this channel at one time or another. I brought it out for something, though I can't remember right now what I brought it out for, but I've got a 4-inch Model 66 as well. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of shooting with this. But before we begin anything else, before I forget, check the link in the description. I've got a discount code there for a membership to the GOA, where you can get a discounted membership there. You can donate to the GOA. You can get in the fight, help us preserve our gun rights. And if you're a member of any organizations out there, but not the GOA, join the GOA as well. But if you live in Tennessee and you want to help preserve gun rights here in Tennessee, not only do you need to join the GOA because they do good work in Tennessee, but you need to join the Tennessee Firearms Association because they are fighting for our rights every day. And the guys at the TFA are all volunteers. They don't get paid for it. Every dollar that you give them goes directly to supporting our gun rights. So if you're not a member of the TFA and you live in Tennessee, please join that. If you haven't joined the GOA, there's a discounted link in the description. Go there and click on that and join up. So let's get to shooting a little bit now that we've talked about our gun rights a little bit and supporting the organizations that are protecting our rights. I'm going to start with 38 Specials. This is a 6-shooter. You know, the L frames that they have now have a 7-shot, though originally the L frames were 6 shots, and I think you can still get 6 shots in the L frames, but a lot of your 686s now are 686 plus, which means they have a 7th round in them. The metallurgy we have now is sufficient that you can get 7 rounds in an L frame. But the Model 19s, which have been re-released, and I don't have one of the new ones yet. Hopefully at some point I'll get one of the new Model 19s that they've come out with. Those are still 6 shots as well. Of course, the Model 66 has been re-released as well. So let's do a little bit of shooting here. We'll start off on the plate just like normal. See if maybe I can hit a little something here. Not too bad there. Six for 6. What do you know? Single action with a 6-inch barrel revolver, I was able to hit all 6 of those in a row, which means I am empty now. Nothing left for the cowboy. But I'm impressed with myself. I think that's the first time I have done that on camera. Now I'm going to tell you, I just do it all the time off camera, right? I'm so good when the camera's not rolling that it's just no problem whatsoever. I can take any little bitty gun that nobody else in the world can shoot and just knock those plates around left and right without even aiming when the camera's not on. When the camera's on, I just can't do it. You don't believe that, do you? You shouldn't, because it's a lie. I can't do it. I think I do shoot better when the camera's off, but I can't prove it, can I? So what good does it do to tell you that if I can't prove it? So let's just shoot over here. Cowboy needs a round. We're gonna go double action on him. Go out there to 35. Cowboy. 35. Cowboy, is that it? That was it. They just hold 6. The downside of a revolver. The upside is I ain't got to chase the brass around. It's my favorite part of a revolver. I don't have to spend an hour after the video picking up brass all over the place. Because as a reloader, I can't leave it out here. Even if I don't need the brass. Even if I got more brass than I know what to do with, I can't leave it out here. I've got to collect it and I've got to clean it. I guess it's just some OCD or something I have. I don't have it for anything else. I don't have that problem with anything else in the world, but when it comes to brass, I've just got to pick it up. I've got to clean it. And I've got to try to load something in it at some point. Even I find cartridges that I don't even have guns for. And as soon as I get that piece of brass, like I ordered some 30-30 one time and got a 303 Brit. And that 303 Brit sat on my counter staring at me for months. And I kept thinking, I've got to buy an Enfield. I'm going to have to buy a gun just so I can load that cartridge, just so I can load that piece of brass that's sitting up there. Finally, I threw that piece of brass away so I wouldn't have to look at it anymore because it was driving me crazy that I didn't have anything to shoot it in. I know that's nuts. That's why I threw it away, because I was tired of being nuts. All right, let's shoot a little more. Oh! Now where am I going? There we go. All right, I guess we need to go out there to 85 yards. Did I just say 85? It's only 80. 75 if I step up, 80 if I step back. Somewhere in that range. It's not 85. I don't know where I came up with 85, but so I got this long barrel here. Let's see if I can do it. 38 Special is not the best cartridge for this distance, but with this long barrel, maybe I'll get plenty of velocity and I won't have to do too much guesswork on elevation. First shot. I don't know if I'll hit it again, but first shot was good. No. Yeah, didn't even see that one either. Didn't see that one. And I should have quit while I was ahead, right? Well, I hit her again. I think that was all of it. Yep. I'm gonna call that a win. Hit 2 out of 6. That ain't too bad. Let's go some Magnums. These are 158 grain semi-wad cutters. Same load that I've loaded for forever. These are not my super hot ones. You know, I load some up with W296 that are pretty smoking, and these are not all that hot. They're definitely Magnums, though. I mean, they're similar to factory ammo, I guess. Let's see if I get any different point of aim here. See the flash. See, it gets there a lot quicker. I think I missed that one. Yeah, I think I missed that one too. But I can't tell where they're going because the flash is pretty much blinding me. Get a lot of flash out of these. I think I loaded these with power pistol, which is a powder normally you use in like 40 Smith and Wesson or 10 millimeter. Or I even use it in 45 auto. I use it in a lot of things. Actually, it's a very versatile powder. But it works actually really well in 357 Magnum. And it's got a lot of flash to it though. It doesn't have a flash suppressant, and it gives you a big boom. Well, I guess that's what I always liked about it when I started using it. Of course, when I first bought it, it's because I couldn't find any powder around. Powder had gotten scarce at that time, like it has again. And I ran across some of that and could find it, and I actually liked it, so I switched over to it, and I've been using it pretty much ever since. Let's go out here to 75 again with the Magnums and see if I can hit it at least once with the Magnums. I can't see where they're going. All I see is a flash. All I'm seeing is a flash. Don't know where they're going. I think that was it though. Yeah, I can't even walk them in or anything because I have no idea where they're going. I'll look at the video later on and probably be able to see exactly what I was doing. I don't know if I was going high because the point of impact may have shifted down a little bit from the 38 Special. I've got it sighted in with 38s, which is what I normally do because I like 38s. Target shooting, you know, Magnums are a blast to shoot. They're a lot of fun, but if you're going to come out here and shoot a ton of rounds, you know, you just get kind of tired of all that blast eventually, and you know, I know maybe that's just me getting old. Maybe that's what it is, but you know, I like the easier shooting cartridge, the 38 Special, for extended range sessions more. Throw some Magnums in it some, but you know, I really like 38 Special. It's just a pleasant round to shoot. Kind of like the 44 Special is as well. Well, but, you know, you can hit with this gun, which is exactly what you would expect. It's got some weight to it. Got the long barrel, the long sight radius. It's got a great trigger. It's got this target trigger on it with the serrations on it. I mean, it's got a really nice trigger pull, really smooth, not all that heavy either. And I mean, you can do some work with this thing. You really can. I can see why it was so popular for so long. Before the polymer world took over, right? Pulled that one low, I think. Is there anything else I need to tell you about this gun? Of course, it is a pinned and recessed, which is what collectors often say, pinned and recessed. The barrel has a pin in it, which they don't anymore. They're just a crush fit now. And they have to just be lined up right and twisted correctly to get them on there, which a lot of people complain about. Smith and Wessons now have canted barrels, and they send them back to Smith for that, and they, you know, have all kinds of problems with that. And I've ran into it a time or two, but you know, it's not as prevalent as some people like to say. But before that, they had the actual pins in them, and so what they would do is they would line the barrel up and then put a pin through it to hold it in place. They stopped doing that in '82. And this also has the recessed cylinders. If you can see here, they sit all the way down in the cylinder because they're counterbored. Recessed is actually counterbored is the correct term. These are counterbored so that the case will sit all the way down inside. The new ones don't do that. The new revolvers, new Smith and Wessons, don't do that. The rim here of the cartridge sits completely proud of the cylinder. And what they had to do was cut the cylinder back a little bit so it sits a little bit further away from the frame there. No big deal. Not necessary. It was originally done that way. They originally recessed the chambers to give more support to the cases because of the higher pressure that's in the 357s, and you know, just to give it more support, because it was needed at one time, but it's just not needed these days. So it's not done any longer. It would be nice, I guess, if they still did, just for the sake of that craftsmanship that goes into that, I guess. But it's not necessary. It doesn't really bother me that they're not that way anymore. But some people only want one that's got the pin in it and got the counterboard cylinders. But doesn't make that big of a difference to me. Well, let's go ahead and shoot some more here. Ah! 5 out of 6 double action. So what can I say? You can't complain about that whatsoever. They're great shooting guns. Got these big target grips on there that feel so good in your hand. So good in your hand. I wish Smith would go back to these things. They will put the wood grips on them now, but they are laminate grips. They're made by Altamont, and Altamont makes a fine grip, but they're not as wide. They're really thin. So if you bought the new Model 19, it's going to have wood grips on it, wood laminate grips, but they're going to be thinner than this, and they're going to not feel as good in the hand. So I wish Altamont would make the grips wider, or maybe even just provide a spacer or something that you put inside of them to make them wider, to give you more width, so it sits a little bit better in your palm and distributes the recoil a little bit better through your palm. Because if you're shooting anything really hot, like especially in 44 Magnum, those things will just tear you up. But I'm gonna go back over here one more time. I've just got to see if I can hit it. What did I put in here? I guess I'm gonna be surprised, because I can't remember if I loaded 38s or 357s. Let's see what happens here. I think those are the 357s. Yep, those are 357s. Oh, that's close. Trying to find the range, but I can't figure it out. I think I was going too high before, but I never could figure out exactly where to go. But I didn't sight the gun in for 357s. I guess that's my fault. I'm not going to be able to hit with the 357s at a distance. But I can't see where they're going either, because all I see is this big flash, because it's kind of overcast today, getting close to dusk, and you know, it's not a lot of light out here now, which makes really good videos, but it gives you a lot of flash from your gun too if you're shooting Magnum. So I've got to hit this little B plate one more time if I can. If I can. There we go. Well, guys, I guess that's good enough. Not that I'm quitting, but I'm going to turn the camera off now so that I can shoot a lot better. Because once I turn this camera off, I'm just going to like machine gun these things. Yeah, I can't explain to you how I get so much better, but just believe me. Just take my word for it. Because I am amazing when you're not watching. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I can always wish. One day maybe I'll be. Maybe I'll rival Jerry Miculek at some point. Probably not, since I don't train that way, and I just come out here and goof off, and that's probably not very good for you know, honing your abilities. So I'm probably going to be exactly what I am now until, you know, the day I die. But that's okay, because I'm having a good time. So guys, I appreciate y'all coming out. God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.